Hey guys, Coach KP here again. And one of the things that I want to talk about today is performance anxiety. Okay. And I'm going to talk about epic forgiveness after this, but performance anxiety is a real deal for many men that allows them to not have self acceptance at a moment of sexual intimacy. And a lot of times, what happens is we end up getting into this mindset of, am I good enough in the bedroom? Because we've been conditioned again by watching so much pornography, so many messages of alpha male figures that can go 6 rounds of sexual intercourse in a night, and still be up for 2 more later on, right? So much of that is gets ingrained in our head, and then we get messages from other men, whether they're joking or not, that how they have all of this sexual prowess going on, and there's no way for us to verify that, but we end up really taking on that message and form a idol out of what sexual man should look like in the bedroom, right? And that causes a lot of performance anxiety, and some people think performance anxiety just shows up in the shape of erectile dysfunction or something along those lines in the bedroom, but it also could show up as unnecessary aggression, overcompensation for certain things that they think they're lacking, instead of being open with your partner and seeing them as a worthy human being that's there to enjoy, share this pleasure with you. We start looking at them as someone who we should be pleasing, and that's an immense load to carry. Okay, this whole thing dates back to women being seen as non-sexual beings. Centuries or even 100 years ago, expressing sexuality for women was not okay. And what that did to men was they were seen as the custodian of sexuality, especially in the Judeo-Christian sort of an upbringing. That seems to be more prevalent. But again, cross cultures, this is shown up again, and again. And what I'm saying is, when we stop seeing our partner, if the partner is a woman or whatever, and we think that instead of this shared joy that we can be receiving and giving to each other in the moment, when we start thinking about what am I gonna do here, like how do I bring beast mode into bedroom and totally be dominant all the time, right? Most men tend to be more dominant in the bedroom than women, but again, when we think of this from a performance lens, that dominance then becomes aggression, and it doesn't necessarily have to be that way, right? It could be a thing that you talk to your partner about, you communicate to them about. And one of the things that I want to emphasize here is that sexual relationship is a partnership. I mean, if your partner is not okay with you expressing some of your deeper feelings to them in a healthy way, obviously, right? You're not going to go there and dump all your emotions on your partner just because they are supposed to share this with you, right? But when you express your needs and wants and desires and whatever's going on in the moment with you, it's going to really deepen the relationship. And it's very difficult for guys, especially guys that feel insecure about their sexual prowess in the bedroom, to understand this. And this is the key to unlocking your performance anxiety, is that is your partner worth it? Are you investing your time, effort, and your sanity in trying to work with someone that is not responsive of you working with them? Okay? You cannot change people past a certain point unless they really want to change. So trying to change people beyond like that small degree, without them really wanting to change, and when I say changing people, I mean, allowing them to see your perspective and see if they respond. Like, that's the only change you can really instigate on other people. Beyond that, it's just manipulation, and we don't want to go there because it opens up a whole lot of negativity in our lives when we try to manipulate this other person. So we don't want to go there. What we want to do is really understand, who am I partnering with? If I'm having this performance anxiety, and if I'm suffering from this every time I see this person, or when I'm seeing this new person and it doesn't go away after you've seen them 1, 2, 3 times, and you're not able to communicate, let's think about what kind of mask are we wearing that's not allowing us to communicate with them, because now we are worried that they're going to see through this mask and see us for who we are, and we're petrified of that, right? So what kind of partner we're partnering with, what kind of mask we may be wearing at the moment that's causing us to hide our authentic self and causing us this dreadful performance anxiety. I'll give you an example of myself. So I've underwent performance anxiety a few times in my life, and this was mostly when I was younger, not wicked young, like in my 20s. I had this notion of wanting to be like the alpha male, character that gets shown, that we can easily find on television series and all of these things. I was watching Mad Men back then, and I wanted to be like Donald Draper. When I was going through like this phase where I wanted to be the alpha male, it was really making me put on an invincibility mask. Okay, and some people may be naturally able to do what Don Draper did in Mad Men, and I'm not knocking them for that. This is just my story. I am more of a kind-hearted person at the core. Like, I can try to be tough when toughness is needed. I've built that around myself. When I feel that aggression is needed, I'm as aggressive as the next guy. But at the core, what soothes me is when I'm able to retreat in my kindness, right? When I'm able to experience these emotions that I experience, right? And these deep emotions when I'm connecting with a partner. To me, sex is like a dance. Like, how am I showing up in this dance? Am I wearing a mask in this dance, right? Am I being myself? And what being myself does is allows the other person to be in this dance with me fully present as themselves. It's almost magical, right? So when I was going through this phase of wanting to be like an alpha male and wanting to dominate women in bed, it really wasn't working out for me, because I would construct this scenario in my head even before the sexual act begins, and I would go into my head, and whatever I was doing, I would end up judging that because I'm not being like this. This is not an alpha move, right? That would cause me, or either that, or I would go into a relationship feeling a little bit intimidated, and it may be natural for people to feel a little bit of intimidation if you're meeting somebody for the first time and you're going into the bed. Like, I would not acknowledge that. I would not acknowledge that it's a little bit interesting, and I like being here with you. I would never express that, and I'm feeling a little bit anxious, But now, I flip that, and I am very open with who I am in that situation, and I tell my partner, hey, look, I feel a little bit anxious. Can we talk for a little bit before we even jump there? I may not even verbalize it this way. I may just create a situation as a part of taking my lead. I may say, hey, come here. Let's sit on my lap. Let's talk for a little bit, right? I may just pull my the woman that I'm dating or my girlfriend, and just talk to her until I feel that comfort within me, and there is nothing wrong with that. I went so long thinking that there is something wrong doing this, and women, they love this kind of a scenario, because a lot of times men are supposed to be leading in the bedroom, but the leading that's being done is not coming from a good heart space. You're not looking out for the woman, because as a man, what do we go through in our lives to come to this place? We have to overcome quite a lot. And if on top of that, like I feel like I have been able to accomplish a lot of my goals and my dreams, and even at this day, I do have moments of intimidation when I'm out there in a scenario, and just being able to show that and not be afraid of retaliation, because you know what? Sometimes you show your vulnerable side, and this other party is going to totally fuck you over. I'm cool with that, because it's not so much about who they are in that sense. It's about who I am in the core. I'm open. I'm open to having these experiences. I'm open to being intimidated. And you know what? I'm still going to do it. It's not that I'm going to get intimidated and run away from it. So many times, not just in the bedroom, so many times outside of it, I get intimidated and I still do it, get stuff done. Ultimately, it doesn't matter. But I acknowledge the fact that, hey, I'm feeling this way. I'm feeling excited. Hey, it's so nice to see you, right? And again, you're not going to have the same personality as I do, but what's your personality? Are you owning that, right? Or are you too busy being stoic because somebody said being stoic is what a man should be, right? Again, maybe you are a naturally stoic person, and maybe that's who you are in the core. It's for you to know. I'm not knocking anything. I'm just saying who you are at the core needs to come out everywhere, in and outside the bedroom. That's going to allow the performance anxiety to subside, and you show up as a vulnerable human being with your partner. And your partner's going to love this if you're not, again, if you're not using your partner as a shrink, because some people, when we start in this journey, there may be some of us that think that, oh yeah, I'm going to tell her everything, right? Be careful about expressing every single thing to your woman, because that may not necessarily be the most polarity arousing thing for them, because when you are sharing every little detail about your life and everything, it becomes overwhelming, right? So find a group of guys, find a group of people, find a therapist, whoever that you can talk to besides talking to your woman, because it's not fair. They're not there for us to be our shrink. They're there to share this joy in the moment, right? So there's a difference. You want to share with them what's coming up for you in the moment, but you don't want to do it in a way that it just takes up the entire room, So check in with them. Ask them about them. How are you doing? Hey, I'm feeling this way. Do you feel like, hey, you be honest with me. Are you feeling frisky? And am I fun? Just fun conversations, right? Hey, what was that TV show you were watching? Come here. You look really pretty. Whatever, guys. Like, I'm just, I'm making this up. I'm not using this as a line every time I go in there, obviously, right? I'm talking to everyone in terms of who they are and their personalities, right? I'm expressing my personality. So ultimately what ends up happening is when you create a fun environment, when you are able to talk to your woman like your best friend, and when you're able to bring that joy, laughter, and yourself in the bedroom, in the game, that's the real game. Okay, I want you to understand that that's the real game. When you are bringing other people's game into your bedroom, you've already lost. You may be able to give her 10 orgasms, doesn't matter, because what you're going to do next time is you're going to compare yourself with that performance and feel bad about it if you only give her 8 the next time. So it's not going to matter if you're constantly judging yourself for this ideal standard, that template that you should fit into and really excel at, right? Social conditioning. We talked a lot about in this video in terms of performance anxiety. And the other side of performance anxiety could be premature ejaculation. And there's some work you may need to do around that, right? There is tons of programs available for you to start doing, like these Kegel programs that you can do. If you really want to dive deep into performance anxiety, I recommend joining Stefo Shambo's classes that he offers. The Tantric Man Experience is a pretty good one around that, or find a male sexuality coach and just talk to them for a little bit around performance anxiety. It costs you 1 or 2 sessions for you to really understand what's happening. You don't need to spend a ton of time or have hundreds of sessions, right? Just try to get to understand what's happening with you. Why are you so anxious, and why are you so fixated on sex that you've forgotten intimacy in your relationship? And what that's going to do is it's going to create this upward spiral for you where when you're starting to think of sex as something you share, something you exchange, it's a give and take, it's not you going ramble on the woman, right? What that's going to allow you to do is, you know what? It's okay. If it didn't happen today, if I'm so anxious that I'm facing erectile dysfunction, I still have fun. And you know what? 1 time, 2 times, 3 times with the same partner in a loving relationship, you're gonna be a rock star in no time. And what's gonna be the best to come out of that is the bond you're gonna form with your woman when you're not fixated on giving her 10 orgasms and all that, and taking her in a certain way. What you're going to do is build the intimacy that's really needed for you to heal some of these deeper things that may come up, that may only show up in a loving, healthy relationship. So if you're going through performance anxiety, instead of thinking of this from a what do I do perspective, if you think about what you bring, who you already are, what is your key features, what are you really good at, and how do you bring that into the relationship, into the bedroom. And for women, sex starts way before the bedroom. So is she seeing you as a wholesome person who is there, who is in this relationship to give her your best, right? If she gets that impression from you, and I'm not saying to fake it, guys, come on, I'm not a pickup artist, nothing against them. I'm just a regular human being that loves adding value to someone, right? And I'm doing this course to add value to your life. So when I go into a relationship, that's going to be my mindset is, you know what, how can I add value to her life? And when I'm going there with that mindset and think about how can I give her love versus how can I perform. So there's a subtle difference, right? How can I give her what she's needing in this moment is going to allow me to ask her questions, allow me to explore who she is a little bit. And I'm saying she, but you can make your own partner, he, she, whatever you are into, whoever you're into, right? When you're going into that relationship and you're really exploring, right? It's an exploration, it's a journey, right? Somebody said sex is not about orgasm, but it's about ecstasy, right? So when you're seeking ecstasy in the moment, performance anxiety is like, it's not a thing, guys. It just ceases to be, okay? So you might be the most performance anxiety guy out there who has a lot of performance anxiety, but when you go into this situation with love in your heart and you opening yourself up to having that intimate experience with your woman, doesn't matter. You still are going to be in a fulfilling situation. And you know what? If you're experiencing erectile dysfunction at that point, so be it. Come back another day, right? So again, I want you to go back and reflect on some of what I've talked about in this video, and really figure out what is it that's causing you to hold yourself back in the bed and outside of the bed. What is it that's holding you back? And then once you pinpoint that and find out, you can breathe into it. You can meditate upon it. You can talk to other people about it. You can, if you need to, you can go to a counselor and get some education around why you're feeling this way. But it's important for you to pinpoint what's going on. So write that down after this lesson. Write it down and see where it goes, okay? And feel free to make a comment down in the comment box, or send me a message.